of diversion, we saw it first in the Garden of Eden. That the enemy, the serpent, never physically attacked Eve. Instead, he redirected her attention from what God had given her to what God had forbidden. Diversion begins when your focus shifts from the voice of God to another voice. The moment your focus, the Bible says that my sheep knows my voice. The moment your focus shifts from God's voice to another voice, then diversion has begun from there. The moment your focus shifts from the voice of your pastor to another voice, then diversion has begun. Let's see Genesis 3, verse 1. This is what the Bible says. Now the snake was the most clever of all the wild animals the Lord God had made. You know, this snake, it is something that God himself is the one made. So one day the snake said to the woman, did God really say that you must not eat fruit from any tree of the garden? So he began by saying, did God actually say? Did the church actually say? Did the pastor actually say? The Lord God made many wild animals, but the snake was the most clever. That is why kuna watu kiangalia hata kanisani wanakaa waerevu, lakini zile mawaidha wanapeana ni za ujinga. But the snake was the most clever of them all. So the snake asked the woman, did God say you must not eat? There are people, when you look at them, they look like they know, but they don't actually know. Kuna kujua ingine ambao ni ujinga. Bwana asifiwe. Unasikia mtu anasema mimi ndio najua pastor. Mimi ndio najua hii kanisa vile tulianza. And at the end of the day, they are actually diverting you. The greatest danger is not hearing the wrong voice. I want you to understand. The greatest danger is not hearing the wrong voice. The greatest danger is listening to it long enough for it becomes a reality. Ukisikiza watu ambao wameacha kuja kanisani, utaacha. Ukisikiza watu ambao wameenda wamepotea, utapotea. So the greatest danger is listening to it for a long time, and then it becomes a reality to you. The spirit of diversion and destiny. Let's see somebody called Jonah. When you read the Bible, it says that Jonah was instructed by God to go to Nineveh. Instead, he went toward Tarshish. Can I tell you something? Instruction, they don't help God, they help you. The moment you are instructed, the instruction that you are given, they are supposed to help you, and they are not helping God. The instruction that you are given are not supposed to help the pastor, they are supposed to help you. So the moment an instruction has been given, and you don't follow the instruction, you end up getting destroyed. So Jonah was instructed by God to go to Nineveh. Instead, he went towards Tarshish. And the storm that followed was not because God hated Jonah. It was because Jonah was traveling in the wrong direction. We Mungu amekuambia ufanye hivi, unafanya tofauti. Na ukiangalia Biblia inasema hata watu ambao walikuwa na Jonah waliweza kuzama, wakatupa mizigo yao. kwa sababu ya Jona kukataa kusikia Mungu. So many storms are not attacks from witches. There are people, I know you are going through storms. But today I want you to understand, some storms are not because there is somebody fighting you. Some storms are because you have gone to the wrong direction. Check your ways. And these storms comes as divine alarms, indicating that a believer has moved away from God's purpose. When you move out of the purpose of God, it can never be well with you. When you move out of the voice of God, it can never be easy. So the spirit of diversion, we are seeing it through destiny. The spirit of diversion and destiny. So this spirit of diversion begin to divert you. You end up going to the wrong destination. Can I show you the spirit of diversion through relationships? Even in a relationship, you can actually be diverted by entering into a wrong relationship. One wrong relationship can delay 10 years of destiny. One wrong relationship can delay your blessing. One wrong relationship can delay your breakthrough. One wrong relationship can delay you. Understand that. That if there is one wrong relationship can make you to be delayed, it can actually delay your blessing. For example, we see somebody called Samson. Samson was anointed before birth. And his downfall was not because he lacked strength. His downfall was affection for what God never ordained. The moment he entered a relationship with Delilah, that is when his end came to him. So many believers are fighting spiritual battle that began with ungodly connection. If the connection is wrong, you'll be diverted. Not everyone who enters your life has entered your destiny. There are people that can enter your life and remove you from your destiny. I always say we can be in the same church, but our destiny are different. Mpendwa, usije ukashangaa siku ambao tunaenda binguni, uone ule umekanga tunaye akienda jehanamu. Because the destination is very different. Some are assignments sent to distract you. There are people that can come into your life and end up distracting you. There are calls you can receive and they end up distracting you. So check the relationship. The spirit of diversion through offense. Let me show you how diversion works through offense. Many people lose their purpose or they miss their purpose because of offense. You see somebody called John the Baptist. He prepared the way for Christ. Yet when he was in prison, that prison life nearly diverted his faith. When offense entered the heart, discernment began to live. There are people that are offended and they no longer have discernment. A wounded spirit becomes vulnerable to deception. The moment you are wounded, anybody can deceive you. Anybody can lie to you. And you accept lies more than the truth because you are wounded. So we see John the Baptist, Even sending people and telling them, go and confirm and ask him, is he Christ?